Chapter 2, Section 4, Managing Address Spaces in Propel Builder. In this section of the video series, we will be reviewing Propel Builder's Address Space tab and how it can be used to manage the memory spaces for SOC projects in Propel Builder. With that said, let's take a look at the key points for this section of the video series. The first key point for this video is to introduce users to Propel Builder's Address Space tab and how it can be used to manage an SOC project's memory space. Aside from that, the next few key points are locking memory spaces and modifying memory space allocation. Finally, the final key point for this section is to introduce design rule checks and auto memory space assignment. Aside from those key points, we will also briefly review Propel Builder's generated memory reports. With that said, let's once again transition to my desktop view so we can get a better look at Propel Builder's Address Space Management tab. So as can be seen from the example on the screen, Propel Builder's Address Space tab can be accessed by clicking the tab called Address towards the top of the window. In this section of the Propel Builder GUI, the various address spaces in our project are broken up based on each controller and its connected targets. Something important to note is that only connected components will appear in this Address Space tab. What this means is that if there are unconnected interfaces, or interfaces that were exported to be top-level ports, they will not appear in this memory map by default. In order for those interface connections to appear, you will need to use either the AHBL or APB feed-through foundation IP components in the IP catalog in order to connect those unconnected interface connections and have them appear in the memory map. The reason for this is because each component's memory space utilization is defined in that respective component's IP package configuration. Because of this, ports cannot show up in the memory map by themselves since they do not have any memory space utilization information that is associated with them. As mentioned before, Propel Builder's Address Space tab is divided into several different blocks for each interface connection. A useful feature of this Address Space tab is that if we select a block, the graphic on the right side of the screen will update to provide a visual representation of the memory space allocation for that memory block. By default, whenever a component is added to a design, its memory spaces are automatically allocated as each component is added, preventing them from overlapping. However, Propel Builder also has a useful design rule check feature, which can be used to double check and ensure that there are no errors or violations in your memory space allocation. To initiate a DRC, simply click the DRC icon from Propel Builder's toolbar. If the DRC finishes successfully with no errors, a finished SBP_design DRC message will be output to Propel Builder's Tickle console. Aside from performing design rule checks, Propel Builder also has an auto-assign memory icon, which can be used to automatically assign any unlocked address blocks within a project's memory space. As mentioned before, this will only automatically assign the memory spaces for unlocked components. So if we take a look at the example on the screen, we can see that this initial memory space assignment was not overwritten since that component was locked. However, if we unlock this memory space, and then once again click Auto Assign, we can see that the memory space was automatically assigned successfully. As can be seen from the example we just went through, the only configurable fields in this Address Space tab are the base address and lock options. The reason for this is because the range for each component's address space is defined in each respective component's memory space utilization information. Using the range for each component and the assigned base address, the end address for each interface connection is automatically calculated, simplifying the process for managing and modifying an SOC project's memory space. Before proceeding, it's crucial that you ensure that your SOC project's memory space allocation has no errors, as that will prevent further development in your project. With that said, the last thing we're going to discuss in this video are Propel Builder's generated memory reports. To generate a memory report, select the Generate Memory Report icon from Propel Builder's toolbar, as can be seen from the example on the screen. Doing this will generate a new memory map HTML file that contains the specific register assignments for each interface connection in the design. The first page of this memory report contains an overview for our project, detailing information like the project name, target device, and language. Using the menu on the left side of the screen, we can easily select different components to view the memory mappings for each interface connection in our project, in order to view the individual registers within each block and the respective memory space assignments, as well as a brief description for each register. That concludes this section of the video training series. To watch the next video in the series, select the video titled Section 3.1, Getting Started with Propel SDK.